following program is intended for mature audiences.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And download every episode and more at basicallyasportshow.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg,
Mike.
And you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
No, they're not Crocs. They're regular sandals. They just have toes because, like Mike, I have ugly feet, so I hide them. But they're still open air. They're still like convertible shoes.
Convertible shoes.
I'm telling you, man.
No, those are like pickup trucks. They cover the front and leave the back open.
No, I'm going to show you a picture of my sandals here just so you can see. They're awesome.
No,
Whatever the case, I don't have to wear socks, so you know what? The hell with it.
I like socks.
Yeah, I was going to actually say what Zach just said. I like socks.
I do. I don't mind them, but it's
Like,
just nice that, it's January 14th and I'm running around in sandals today.
Part of the thing, like, why I don't like sandals is I don't like barefoot on leather. It's weird.
The things we talk about on this show, I swear. All right. That's the shoe I'm wearing.
Greg, those are shoes with holes in them.
Oh, for fuck's sake, they're sandals.
Mike,
All right, let's see.
can I get a ruling?
No, to me, a sandal has an open toe.
Oh, for Pete's sake. You won't wear them because you have ugly feet. I just try to hide my ugly toes, and now I'm getting, and
I'm saying I would actually wear those because of my ugly toes.
Right, see, but they're sandals.
I'd wear them, but I wouldn't call them sandals. Because, I don't know, those aren't sandals.
I'd call those shoes.
I put in closed-toe sandals and got 10,000 pictures of that very shoe right there. So the hell with both of you guys.
Honestly, looking at that, I would probably still wear socks with that.
Then you would be a complete dork.
Yeah, but I would also never own that shoe.
Oh, fuck off. I'd make fun of you, but you're living in warm weather, so I can't do that with you. But if he says another word, I'm going to start in about the weather with him. So there you go.
It was really cold today, so.
Oh, gee, that's terrible. Anyway, what do we want to talk about tonight?
I mean, we got to start with the Rams, right?
Oh,
Yeah, Zach, you have a football team again.
guys, this is so good. This is
Literally the best thing that could have happened.
This is the best. I have a football team. I have
You
a
might have.
legitimate in my town football team.
You might
Yes,
have
you do.
two.
We have a football team.
They're going to have two football teams like they have two basketball teams. Gonna be like,
Congratulations, Chargers! You get to be the football Clippers.
right.
Well, you broke that down for me.
Oh,
they're
A team moving from San Diego to be second fiddle in the same building as a team that moved from the Midwest with a bigger fan base.
My only hope now is that Dean Spanos gets caught being racist. Already, Spanos is a lawyer. Went to the media and said there are a few things that they want to try to see if they can get some wiggle room on, but for the most part, they said the framework is incredibly workable. I think the Chargers are going to play in L.A.
I think
as well.
Spanos realizes that if he waited the year and the Rams played a full season here, they'd be so much farther behind than they're already going to be, trying to get a fan base and things like that.
I don't understand why in the world they would want to go to L.A. to be – they're so clearly going to be the second banana in that town. I don't know why they would bother. No one's going to give a flying fuck about the Chargers in L.A.
The Rams are going to be the top dog.
Without a doubt.
The place that I feel the worst for in this whole situation is San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
Because San Diego loves the Chargers. They love the Chargers. To have their owner just repeatedly, in bad faith for the last 15 years, act like he's trying to get something done in San Diego, and then he's there for the city, and then he believes in the fans. It's wrong. After all this, with how it played out, I don't know why Dean really – this is the other reason why I don't understand why Spanos wants to even go at all. Because the only reason he got into this was to block Kroenke from coming in and to move into L.A. himself. He lost that battle. Kroenke's getting his stadium, his team in L.A. first. Why would Spanos want to accept defeat and move in to be the second team in that stadium?
I can tell you why he wants to do it. Dean Spanos, for whatever reason, seems to be under the impression that the Chargers cannot be economically viable in San Diego if there is a team or two in Los Angeles.
They were doing fine in like 86.
For whatever reason, Dean has it in his head that if there are two teams in Los Angeles and the Chargers aren't one of them, then the Chargers are going to suffer. I don't think that is anywhere close to reality, but that's what he thinks is going to happen. And so the reason why I think he would abandon San Diego, where his team is top dog, to go to L.A., where he'd be second fiddle to the Rams, is that in his mind, being second fiddle to the Rams is better financially than being top dog in San Diego if the Rams are in Los Angeles.
I understand that part, but yeah, the team's going to be worth more money by moving to LA. That's great. But everything about the Chargers works so much better in San Diego than it does up here.
The Chargers are so clearly not the Rams in St. Louis in that they have a passionate, dedicated fan base. Even just on TV, you get the sense that stadium is just a fun place to watch a football game.
Yeah, when the Chargers are good, San Diego Charger games are fun places to be. Even despite the fact that the stadium's old and the sound system kind of blows and you have the one crappy old scoreboard on one end of the building, it's still a fun place to watch a football game. Sunny, Chargers are going in, they're wearing the powder blues, they're scoring touchdowns, and we're singing San Diego Superchargers. It's a fun time.
Los Angeles Chargers doesn't lend itself well to a catchy jingle.
Los Angeles Superchargers.
It's got too many syllables in Los Angeles. San Diego works. It's like boom, boom. The Los Angeles kind of drags itself out.
At least the Rams are back, and that's good.
The Rams are back. They're going to play in the Coliseum. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's good that the Rams are back. And I'm not even going to start in about the blue and white uniforms. I'm just happy that they're back. And
it was absolutely stunning to see that those rallies, almost no one was in navy and khaki. I don't think their current uniforms are bad at all. If they wear the blue over gold or the white over gold, I think it's a fine look.
Based on just the name of the colors, they need to change these. Millennium Blue, New Century Gold.
What are your thoughts about the possibility of yellow as the primary home uniform?
I don't like it. It's a nice alternate, but I wouldn't want it full time. I don't think it's too bright.
I can't imagine anything with the Rams where you could modernize it to the point of, like, say, a Tampa Bay or a Jacksonville. I mean, they can't screw it up that bad, right?
No, you got to have the horns on the helmet.
Right, that's untouchable.
And the only other thing that you could really change on the jersey, I would love to see the horn come back to the jersey itself.
Oh, me too.
Have it on the throwbacks that aren't there on the current home and roads. I want the blue and gold and the ram horn and all that fun stuff. And
you mean you don't want gray and volt and black?
No.
You sure? Yeah, it's styling right now.
Did you see that thread, Zach?
Which one?
L.A. Rams uniform speculation thread.
I haven't looked at those because I don't like speculation.
There's one.
It's more like a wish list.
This one guy shows up, and his username is Volt. But he's going on about how the Rams, just because the team's going back to where they played 20 years ago doesn't mean the uniforms from 20 years ago have to come back. The team should use athletic gold with navy because it represents a new era in L.A., and they should add gray and black because that's what sells right now. Now, a Rams executive, Kevin Demoff, the COO of the team, did actually address uniform. The question was very straightforward. Will you bring back the old LA Rams uniforms? His response: I think the philosophy on the uniforms is a microcosm of the philosophy on the project. Yes, we have a rich tradition and history in Los Angeles. We have colors that people identify with. We have historic players. We want to carry some of that forward. But we're also about to enter a world-class stadium that should be one of the best. Yes, the Rams are coming back. It's not the Rams of the 60s, 70s, 80s. This is Stan's vision and Stan's stadium. We want to make sure we represent that we want to show that we represent best in class in every aspect while we borrow from the Rams' legacy. When I look at the Rams' return to L.A., that's what people are excited about. It's modern NFL mixed with a team they grew up with.
So, in other words, the Cleveland Browns.
Which I'm not going to lie, has me a bit concerned.
Well, then again, though, we've also got the Vikings and the Bills.
It depends on how tight of a leash they keep Nike on. If they're very firmly said, Nike, this is what we want, make it, then it could work. But if they tell Nike, you have free reign, then...
Oh, God. Then you're going to get actual ram horns sticking out of the helmets. Not the decal. They'll be real ram horns.
Put those on Todd Gurley as he goes through the line. No one's going to tackle him.
And the jerseys will be like wool, like that. What's that stuff called they put in the jackets? I can't think of. Was it Sherpa or whatever that shit is? You know what I'm talking about? That's what the jerseys will be made out of. How about that, huh?
Now, it's actually kind of eerie because friend of the show, McCarthy, actually had a very pessimistic vision of the future, but he nailed it so perfectly that I have to think that this just could happen. They're going to come up with some version of Nike Gray, one of the 50 Shades of Gray that they have, and the team's going to call it Hollywood Silver because Los Angeles is the city of the silver screen and will represent all of the big picture moments the Rams look to make on the field.
That's chilling because that is so accurate as to what Nike would actually say.
You could see it happening, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't know, like if you just started the show and said, "I got this news about the Rams uniforms," and you said exactly that, no one would even question it.
And then he followed up with, "Dumb people will eat this shit up."
Yeah,
which they will. That's
what I mean. If you had said that without prefacing it by saying that someone speculated this, I'd go, "Well, yeah, it sounds exactly like Nike." The silver screen, the memories. Oh my God. Well, it could either be the Vikings and Bills or it could be the Browns. So I guess that's what we have to look forward to. We'll know in a couple years or maybe in a couple months. I think they go throwback for the first 3 years and then they, fuck them all up. But come on, though. The Sherpa thing's awesome, right? I mean, come on.
I see them adopting a Sherpa actually as the team mascot.
Right, but you put that
real
fur,
authentic Sherpa that they fly in from Nepal and
like when you touch the jersey, it's like got those little, it's soft like wool, and oh my God, that'd be awesome. And the pants could be okay, like the Diamondbacks did with that gradient shit. At the bottom, it's like colored like a hoof. So with actual ram horns coming out. Oh, come on, we're not that far from that, really. Come on.
You know what would be a cool middle ground here? Take the current uniforms, but replace the navy with royal blue and the khaki with athletic gold.
Yeah.
That would work.
So I'm looking through some stuff here on the Rams.
Okay.
And I got to a list of people that are honored in their Ring of Honor that they had at the Edward Jones Dome.
Is it Marshall Faulk and a bunch of Los Angeles Rams?
All right, let me see if I can guess the LA Rams. You got Merlin Olsen, right?
Yeah.
Deacon Jones has to be there.
Of course.
Jack Youngblood?
Indeed.
Roman Gabriel?
Nope.
No Roman Gabriel. No kidding.
No.
Lawrence McCutcheon, maybe?
Nope.
Really? Eric Dickerson's got to be there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bob Waterfield.
No, that's going way back. I think he might have played for the Cleveland Rams at one point.
Norm Van Brocklin.
Yeah, he's another one. That's like an old school, he's like from the Babe Ruth era of football.
Right. Yeah, 49 to 57. Marshall Faulk, Eric Dickerson, Elroy, Crazy Legs
Hirsch. Yeah. He had to play. When did he play? He had to be a Cleveland
49
Rams.
to 57.
When did they move to Cleveland or move to L.A.? Was it in 49? 50?
They moved in, scroll all the way back up, 46 was their first year in L.A.
Oh, okay. That's too bad. So there's no original Cleveland Rams. But really,
yeah, Bob Waterfield played in 1945.
Oh, okay, cool.
Les Richter?
No idea. How about Nolan Cromwell? Is he in there?
No. Tom Fierce?
Wow.
Tom Mack?
Tom Mack, he was I think he played center for the L.A. Rams, the blue and white L.A. Rams.
Yeah. Merlin Olsen, Deacon Jones, Jackie Slater.
Oh yeah, he was a great offensive lineman. He might have even played a little while in St. Louis. I'm not sure.
95 was his last year.
Okay.
Jack Snow.
Jack Snow, yeah. I was going to throw him in there, but I thought after I heard that Gabriel wasn't there, I thought, well, there's no way Snow is. But
and then Jack Youngblood, and then coaches and executives. Now this is where the question that I had. So Dick Vermeil's in there, but again, he never coached in L.A. Dan Reeves was an owner from 1941 to 1971. He moved them from Cleveland to L.A.
Oh, so he's the son of a bitch we need to blame, huh?
Carol Rosenblum. And then Georgia Frontiere is in the Ring of Honor. There is no way in hell that woman's name is going to be on anything in the L.A. Rams Stadium.
Nope.
I'm going to go off on a bit of a diversion, then I'm going to come right back to where you're at, Zach. I don't think that it's wrong for the team to honor St. Louis-only players. I wouldn't have a problem at all if the Los Angeles Rams inducted Kurt Warner into
but if they have that ceremony Who the hell here is going to like, oh yeah, Kurt Warner, I'm so glad for all the things you did for the franchise when you weren't here.
Right.
You don't even have to have the ceremony though. Just like
It's like
put out a
I
press
remember
release.
the Coyotes honored Dale Howardchuk for all the things he did in Winnipeg. Who in that arena, besides the Canadian Snowbirds, even knows who the hell Dale Howardchuk was?
Yeah, but there's so many Canadian Snowbirds that I think it works.
I think that's actually most of their ticket base.
Like if you had Wendell Clark night down here, every fucking arena in this town would be full. I'm telling you. Anyway.
Oh, everyone loves Wendell Clark.
Well, I'm just saying, there's just enough Ontario people down here to make it a worthwhile venture.
The other thing I was discussing with some other LA Rams fans, the Rams' only Super Bowl win and only 2 Super Bowl appearances were in St. Louis.
No, you're wrong. There was a Rams Super Bowl appearance in '79.
Okay,
That's the Steelers.
2 of the 3 and the only Super Bowl win they had. Do the LA Rams fans, us, my new people, do we accept that as our own Super Bowl? Or do we say that they haven't won a Super Bowl?
No. You've got to qualify it by saying they haven't won one in LA.
I disagree to the extent. It's the history of the franchise.
It has to be acknowledged.
Absolutely.
For sure,
You got to acknowledge it, yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that we don't acknowledge it. I'm saying that when it comes to, like, if I was going to laud that over, like, oh, yeah, but our team beat the Patriots that won, or the
Right.
Titans
Yeah.
that won.
I don't think you have the right to do that, no.
No.
We're talking like fan rules now. Like,
Like, we would say, we'd harp on the team because they haven't won a Super Bowl. And they'd be like, well, we won one, but you didn't win one here.
I want to back up to something you said earlier, though, Zach. You said, I spoke with other LA Rams fans. I don't think St. Louis Rams fans can say that.
Why do you say that?
I'm just saying. I mean, for 2 of them to be in the same room together, pretty rare.
Well, we've got 2 of them on the boards, but and 2 of them on the boards seem really hard hit by it. It was actually got pretty depressing.
If any city that loses their team, it's going to suck. But St. Louis will be okay.
Well, I can tell you, too, and I know that I think I said this on the boards and I got a little flack for it, but the truth of the matter is they will recover from it a lot more quickly than they think they will. And because I went through this, I mean, and I've said it on the boards, for the past couple of days. I never loved a sports franchise as much as I did the original Cleveland Browns. The Buckeyes don't even come close to where I was at with that team. And you know what? After they left, the following football season, it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, it sucked, obviously, but it wasn't like it didn't keep me up nights or anything. I mean, you recover. It's not as big a part of your life as you think it is when it's gone. You go all of a sudden, you go, wow, it really didn't take up as much of my time as I thought it did. That's what I'm saying. So they'll be okay.
I guess the only thing that I have personally to equate that to it is I remember the 2004 NHL lockout when they didn't play for a full year.
Right.
And so the thing that I had loved and that I went to all the time and was a big thing for our family and was a big part of the sports community, it was gone. And it wasn't gone. They were going to come back eventually. But it felt the same like when hockey season rolled around and I was ready, like, okay, let's go. And there's no games. It's like, oh, well.
Yeah, and you didn't even have the luxury of watching other teams. I mean, the entire thing was gone. I don't want to seem like I'm being too harsh on St. Louis fans, but I'll
be harsh on St. Louis fans because their entire shtick irritates me, and no one found Stan Kroenke's and "Fuck Your City" PDF more than I did. I mean, the only thing that I wanted him to do that he didn't do was like conclude his pitch to why the owners should vote to relocate the Rams would be like, and have you tried the pizza? Because seriously, come on.
Okay, but I don't want to be too harsh on them. But first off, if it was such a great football city, none of this would be happening.
If it's such a great football city that they wouldn't have lost 2 teams in under 50 years. So.
Right. Well, if you look at it realistically, they lost 2 teams within a 30-year span. I don't remember the situation with the Cardinals very well.
They asked the stadium thing as well.
Was it a stadium thing? Because they played at Old Busch Stadium where the Cardinals played.
The thing that's great about that, the Cardinals left in what, 85?
87, I think.
87?
Yeah.
The Rams were in a brand new Edward Jones Dome in 1996, so less than 10 years later.
Hey, didn't they build the Edward Jones Dome before the Rams moved? Wasn't it kind of similar to a Tropicana Field thing where it was there and they were just
The Cardinals, the football Cardinals, asked for a new stadium in St. Louis. St. Louis said no, so they moved out to Phoenix. And then almost immediately afterwards, the city of St. Louis was like, oh, shit, they called our bluff. So then they built the dome without actually having a tenant. And then when they got the Rams, they signed that ridiculous deal that allowed Kroenke to basically get out when he did.
But here's the thing, and that's the thing too. When they lost their team, which just like most of the teams that left. Now, I do not advocate making taxpayers fund this stuff, but if that's the reality and you really want to keep your team, that's what you got to look at.
It's one thing if the team said, if the city said, we don't believe in spending taxpayer money on sports stadiums, you're out of luck. And then they moved. Okay, that's one thing. You made a choice, and it's an honorable choice, and that's fine. But to then go ahead and use taxpayer money to pay for a stadium immediately after the team wins, that's something else altogether.
And we've seen it. I know of at least two examples of where that's happened. One was in St. Louis when the Rams left, and the other one in Cleveland when the Browns left. It was like, where was the deal that Mayor Mike White, the Cleveland mayor at the time, came up with 2 weeks after Art Modell announced he was leaving? Where the fuck was that deal 3 weeks prior to that? That's what aggravates me.
No, exactly. And Bidwell, who owned the Cardinals, even said that if they had built the Dome a few years earlier when he asked for a new stadium, he would have happily taken it. If they had just built the Dome a few seasons earlier, the Rams would probably have never left Los Angeles, and the Cardinals would probably just now be entering discussions to build a new football stadium in St. Louis.
Yeah.
After, a couple decades in the Dome.
Everybody wants to blame. I'm sure they blamed Bidwell in St. Louis too. And maybe, again, like Art Modell, I'm sure he played a role in it. But let's quit acting like these owners, I don't like the idea of paying for it with tax money either, but if that's the reality and where you live and that's the only way it's going to get done and you want to keep your team, then you've got to look at it. And it drives me nuts that they don't have the money one day and then the minute the team says, guess what, we're gone, all of a sudden we can build anything you want. Well, then why did you do that in the first place? With the precedent that's been set by all the moves over the years in the NFL, you've had, the Raiders, the Colts. Don't play Russian roulette with these guys or whatever, or don't try to bluff them. I mean, they're not kidding. They will go.
And don't throw together a hastily constructed stadium proposal, St. Louis, that you only started working on once it became apparent that Stan Kroenke was buying a stadium-sized plot of land in the Los Angeles metro area.
See, that's another reason I can't get mad at Kroenke. He built the damn thing with his own money. And I think somebody in the thread said, well, if this is what it means in the NFL that the team with the most money can just go wherever they want. Well, you know what? In a perfect world, that's exactly how it would be, that taxpayers would never fund a dime of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing to question when it comes to the cities and these NFL franchises, with the ways the NFL is now, do you even need to be in the city of your favorite team to root for your favorite team anymore? Does the city matter, or is it just the Rams, or is it just the Raiders or whoever? It doesn't matter what the city name in front of it is.
I've never lived in San Diego. I've never lived in the state of California, and I'm a Chargers fan. So the NFL is just such a multimedia. We complain about that; it never gives us a chance to miss it. But the upside to that is that you can really be a fan of any team that you want to be a fan of.
I got to be honest, it had the Browns, if they'd become the Baltimore Browns, I would have been mad for a year or two, but I promise you that at some point I would have started following them again because that's still my team. It's got a different city name in front of it, but they're still the Browns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know that even – I mean, it probably mattered more back when I was a kid than it does now. But in this day and age, you don't – I mean, look at me. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, and I live in the Atlantic coast of Florida.
Now that the Rams are here – I have the choice of grabbing the Rams because they're now the Los Angeles football franchise, or sticking with the Colts. And I'm sure there are a lot of people in LA that in the 20-year gap where we didn't have a team, 20 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Most of us have – there are a lot of people that have moved on and found teams and root for whoever they want. Now we have our own team, so it's a choice of, well, you've stuck with this team for such a long time. Do you want to grab onto a new team? My thought process has always been – if the Rams had been here and we had gone to Rams games, I would have been a Rams fan. And so I see this as the team I never got a chance to root for coming back and giving me that chance. But I've also been with the Colts for so long that I have an interest in the players. I have Colts merchandise.
So root for both of them. What the hell's
right? Well, that's the thing. And the thing that helps is that they're in different conferences. So, the Colts are my AFC team. The Rams are going to be my NFC team. Should they cross paths in the regular season or play in the Super Bowl, then I'll have an issue. And then I'll have to pick, the team I started rooting for first or hometown loyalties. As it stands right now, I can do both.
I know that, there's this quote-unquote sports rules and all that where you can't, you got to be the hometown team and not bullshit. Root for whoever you want to and don't worry about it. That's the way I feel about it.
That's only a unique
When's the last time the
situation.
show was on the air?
I have no idea. But it was the only thing I could think of that was like hillbilly. You know, I thought I got to come up with something here, and Clampets is what came to mind.
Also, the only
62 to 71.
also, I know that the son of former world heavyweight boxing champion Max Baer was an actor on the show.
Right? See,
That's all. And that's
you don't even need to know that much.
And they did a movie in 1993?
There you go. So see, it's not even that long ago.
How old do you think we were in 1993?
I'm just saying, it's not a reference. It wasn't like I referenced something from the fucking 20s or something. Come on. When I told you guys the line, Mike immediately laughed because he knew exactly what I meant.
I did, but
See, that's all I'm saying.
I did, but at the same time, I have to give Zach consideration that it is a slightly dated reference.
Like, I know vaguely, tangentially, offhand.
You know what I'm going to do
this
tomorrow?
is a thing that existed.
I'm going to make a reference. I'm going to make a reference to the Clampets tomorrow at work. I'm going to see how many teenagers today.
Right, because no one ever had fucking Nickelodeon in their house ever after what, 1992? Come on. Give me a break.
Was it on Nick at Night?
I don't know. I'm just saying it's
Yeah,
like
it played at Nick at Night late at night.
here's what I'm going to say.
I know that I've seen like the theme song before, but I never watched it.
If you get 10 people from the boards and ask them who the Clampets are, 8 of them are going to know who they are.
I think we just understand that Clampets are hillbillies. But
Right, that was the whole point. That was it. That was the whole joke. That's it. Nothing more to it than that. Just that.
I am going to report back on my unscientific experiment here.
Hey, kids.
You two talk about the fucking Transformers like everybody knows who they are. And I make a joke about basically a cultural icon, and you're like, I don't know what that means. Give me a break.
Transformers had a multi-billion-dollar movie.
Right, because the same 3 geeks went and saw it like 40 times. That's why.
People that even haven't seen Transformers know what an Optimus Prime is.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to tell you about.
Okay, you know what? I'm just going to break it down. I'm just going to have a pop quiz, and it's going to be like, do you know who these things are? Optimus Prime, the Clampett family, and I'm going to see what...
And you're going to find out that everybody knows who both of those are.
Okay.
Just wait and see.
Okay.
I'm just saying. It was a good line, and every time that, like when Zach doesn't get humor because he's just not very funny, he always blames it on me being old.
Nobody in my demographic, as I guarantee you, if you pulled 100 people from Mike and I's demographic and asked them, have you seen the Beverly Hillbillies?
You don't have to see it to get the joke. That's the point I'm making. You just have to know who the fuck they are. That's all.
You stupid bastard.
That's just what I'm saying.
If it was asked, who do you know what the Beverly Hillbillies were, who they were, then you might get 5 out of 100.
Oh, really?
Serious?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Really.
All right.
I'm sympathetic, Greg, because I'm also a big fan of the show Get Smart, but...
There you go. It's the same exact idea.
But I also admit that I'm a minority among my demographic in that regard.
This has become a very contentious... You know what? I'm going to text my girlfriend right now.
There you go. That's perfect. Okay, do that.
I'll ask her.
And don't you cheat either. Don't
No.
you cheat. All right, I'm just saying. Go ahead and text her.
I'm just going to say question for the podcast.
Do you know who the Clampets are? That's just the only question you need to ask. That's it. I bet she does.
I'll send it to her, and I'm going to ask my best friend, who is a news reporter in Colorado.
You know what? I'm going to get in on this.
This is going to be great.
Do you know the Clampets are?
All right, this is going to be good.
All right.
Let me write
Should
down.
we announce the results of this on air?
Oh, we're on the air right now.
Oh, fantastic.
But I'm going to write down where we're at so I can pause it so we're not waiting through the like people aren't sitting here with dead silence waiting while we get the answers.
This is fantastic. Well, while we wait for the results to come in on this, I promise on our system that there will be no cheating.
I don't trust either one of you two.
I even sent a clarification, no Googling.
I have messaged 3 people, so... And I think, Zach, you got 2?
I got 2.
All right.
So that's 5.
That's 5.
That's a nice round number. It's very easy to extrapolate from that. So
Exactly.
we're going to get some solid info here.
I just wish I could trust you guys enough to give the actual answers.
Oh, God damn.
I will take a screenshot and send it to you if you want. Actually, a funny story about my friend one of these guys I texted to. He does. He's filling in as one of the sports guys for his Colorado news station. So we got to go to Broncos practice the other day, and Peyton Manning was at the podium, and his alarm went off on his phone, and Peyton turned to him and said, "Hey, can you turn that off?" Or, "Hey, is somebody going to get that?"
That's funny, huh?
That shit ain't funny, motherfucker.
Yeah, it was. Because he has the video of it, so Peyton's there doing a thing.
Oh, okay.
Background.
We have a result?
We have one result.
Okay.
My friend Eric, I asked him, do you know who the Clampett family is? He responds, the Beverly Hillbillies.
There you go. I'm just saying.
That's
and
one.
this is a Canadian. Not even in the fucking country he knows who they are. Eat it, Zach. What do you think of that?
You got one, Greg.
That's all I needed. One is enough.
That's what I'm trying to tell you about.
Why aren't these people responding to me?
Because it's a dumb question.
Oh, God damn it. Both of them responded with nearly identical responses.
Which were?
My girlfriend said, the Hillbillies?
There you go. That's 2.
And my friend Matt responded, as in the Beverly Hillbillies?
That's 3 out of 5. That's 60% right there. What do you think of that? Huh? I stand vindicated, folks.
My boyfriend just got back. He said he has no idea.
Okay, well, it's still at 60%.
Those were skewed responses. Their parents are very old, and I bet their parents watched that.
Anything to get yourself off the hook, because you know that it's an easy reference. And everyone got it. That's my point.
I'm still going to hold a poll amongst teenagers because I want to see. I want to see just how sharply this drops. Like, I want to see generation by generation.
It doesn't matter. You're assuming that, like, there's you, me, the Admiral, and Zach, and everybody else is 12 years old on the boards, which it seems like that a lot of times, but I assure you that's not the case. Enough people got the reference. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm gonna ask a follow-up question. Follow-up.
What the hell are you talking about?
Have you ever seen?
It doesn't matter. That's what I keep trying to tell you. It doesn't matter if you've seen a fucking episode. You just have to know who they are to get the joke. That's it. That's it. It doesn't matter if they've ever seen it. That's what I keep trying to explain to you.
I just want to know.
Nobody gives a fuck. Now you're taking a good bit and ruining it.
My girlfriend already asked the question or answered it before I answered. She said, sorry. I watched a lot of TV Land on sick days as a kid.
What did I say? I said Nickelodeon. People know who it is. And 60% of the poll knew who they were. That's more than enough to make a joke. I'm just saying.
To be fair, my friend Eric digs old Twilight Zone episodes, so I don't know if he's indicative.
It doesn't matter if they're indicative or not. We did a random poll of 5 people, and 60% came back and said they knew what I was talking about.
Well, we still
which
have.
was the only.
I'm still waiting on one result.
It doesn't matter. We've got 60%. We've got 60%. Yeah. If that's an election, I win in a landslide.
My friend said, I think I've seen like one. I've seen the intro about 1 billion times. I even know the theme song, kinda.
How many times do I have to say it doesn't matter if you've seen an episode?
I'm just providing extra information.
Extra information that is completely irrelevant to the point. Yes, it is.
The only thing that this has told me is that we need to have a Bass election special for the 2016 presidential election.
God, yes. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
And now it's Bass on America Decides 2016. Race for the White House between Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump.
Oh, God.
Hold on.
Well, just while we're waiting, before we move to the tabs, lest anyone think otherwise, I'm not upset. I'm just giving Zach a hard time. I'm really not. I know, but you know how people, they can get the wrong idea.
I kind of want it to happen. A decision 2016, America burns to the ground. Sanders, Trump.
I just want to say I'm vindicated. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach's tabs, which are mostly accurate.
Tabs! Beverly Hillbillies.
There's no Beverly Hillbillies in these tabs.
It's a hillbilly-free tabs. And
Donald
that's a
Trump,
shame.
We just kind of mentioned it at the end of our last discussion for a second. The race for the presidency is still going on. Donald Trump still somehow in this
it's like
field.
Nobody has understood that the joke's over. Okay, we all had a good laugh at it. But now should be the time that we stop laughing.
Over the weekend, Trump had a rally in Reno, Nevada, where he was giving another speech, of course. This was on Sunday, the day after the Steelers-Bengals game, and he pointed to that game as an illustration of how player safety rules are ruining America.
He's turned into a CCSLC poster.
Hold on.
He's turned.
I'm gonna try my best Trump, and it's gonna be terrible. All right, here we go. So I'm watching the game yesterday, and
that's actually pretty good.
Considered a great tackle, a violent hit-on, violent. If that was done by Dick Butkus, they'd say he was the greatest player. If that was done by Lawrence Taylor, it was done by Lawrence Taylor and Dick Butkus and Ray Nitschke, right? You see these tackles, and it's incredible to watch. Now they tackle, head-on collision, 15-yard penalty. The whole game is screwed up.
That was actually a pretty good Trump, I thought. What do you think, Mike?
He also went on to say that NFL referees throw flags to impress their wives watching at home. It's become soft, and our country has become soft.
Okay, this has to be the biggest practical joke ever pulled, right?
He's going back behind stage after each of these rallies and just laughing, right?
Right, exactly. It has to be. It has to be. Like you couldn't write this guy.
I mean, God, the United States is going to vote to make NJ Tank president of the United States.
I just don't get it.
Roger Goodell is making America soft with his pans and players safe to rules.
There's going to come a day in the future where he's going to come out, and a Nike guy's going to be standing beside him. They're going to go, you know what? You bunch of dumb fucks. We just pulled off two of the greatest practical jokes ever.
And I feel for you, Zach, because not to get too political here, but I think you mentioned it on the show before that you are a Republican.
Yeah. Generally, I want to vote for the Republican Party, but if somehow this crazy person
with bad hair
is the representative of our party, I may have to not vote Republican for the first time.
I've already seen where if Cruz somehow gets the nomination, the Democrats are going to challenge his birthplace and all that. I'm like, oh my God, are we going to do this again?
Except this one's legitimate. He's actually not an American.
I see. I've read different reports, and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security is very vague on what exactly constitutes citizenship. Like, you read it and you go, they say, he was born of American parents on foreign soil, so that makes him an American citizen, except in certain cases. And they don't explain what those certain cases are. It's almost like they want to leave the option open to go, yeah, not you, but okay, you know?
If that is the case, then clearly the system should have been designed to stop Ted Cruz, because Ted Cruz, no.
But anyway,
I'm not gonna get too political. Just
no, God, I mean, look, the Democratic side of things is it's really, let's be honest, there aren't a whole lot of prizes on that side either, but for fuck's sake, Ted Cruz or Donald Trump, if those are my options.
I joke about it, but I actually kind of like Bernie more than Hillary, but that's just because I think Hillary is like an evil she-bitch who's going to devour everything.
I think that when it's all said and done, if you take away personalities and all that, she's probably the wisest choice of a very weak field. But on Trump, look, we're what, about 2 weeks away from the Iowa caucuses, then we got New Hampshire coming up. To go back to like 2004 or 8, was it? I don't remember.
It was 4 of Howard Dean.
Howard Dean, right? He was the front runner in the Democratic Party. He went, and that was it. Yeah, that was done.
Never has one scream cost so much. I mean,
I was watching.
We're going to Iowa. We're going to New Hampshire. We're going to Vermont.
Crazy person, but okay. This is a story. I guess you could call this a Mike's tab addendum to a Zach's tab.
All right.
Tab addendum.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
It's from the Wall Street Journal. This story is only 4 hours old.
Ooh, breaking news on VAS on our election coverage special.
Poll: Donald Trump widens his lead in Republican presidential race.
Why?
Wow.
How?
He has a comfortable double-digit lead over his next closest Republican rival before the first primary.
Oh, my goodness.
Who are they polling, though? Are they polling actual voters, likely voters, registered voters, does it say?
This is a joint Wall Street NBC poll is all I have. I don't know who they're polling, but I do also have, because I was curious, I pulled up a site called Real Clear Politics.
That's a good site. That's a good site.
What they do is, for their polls, they tend to have very accurate polls, because what they do is they take all of the major polls and then they rank the averages. Mm-hmm. According to this, Donald Trump is at 34.5%. Ted Cruz, his next closest rival, is at 19.3%.
Oh my God.
This means Trump has a 15.2% percentage point lead over Cruz. So it's not even close.
I don't even know what to say about this. I mean,
This is the days where I wish we had a John McCain again.
Right. I was just going to say the same thing. Where's
You
John
guys had a
McCain?
John McCain.
Yeah, and
I know.
You had John McCain.
where's
And
John
he decided
McCain?
to
when
get the pit bull with lipstick on his side.
That killed him. Some political nerd talk real quick here. I was going to say that when the primaries start, we're going to get real voters as opposed to yahoos and pickup trucks with antlers on the front bumper that actually vote, and we should see different results.
Except here's the thing, though, is that a lot of these polls, a lot of these stories I've seen where, like, it's like Trump wins such and such a poll, it's always been like the straw polls at the caucuses where they actually go to, like, say Republicans voting in Iowa and they say, who are you going to vote for? And Trump's been winning lows. So it's I don't know. Look, there's a theory in political science that states that a democracy is broken when all of the competing major political parties start drifting towards extremes.
Well, then we are broken beyond repair down
you
here.
got Donald Trump as a front runner in the Republican camp, and you've got Bernie Sanders getting serious consideration on the Democratic side. So
Generally, that is what happens in the primaries and in the presidential election. You've seen it many times, like Howard Dean came out of Iowa. He was, the ultra-liberal guy and all that. And as things progress, and as the real players in the party start to realize, okay, this guy's electable, this guy's not, generally the nutty candidates kind of fall by the wayside for the guy that's got a legitimate chance. But the problem with this year is that, okay, where do you find the legitimate candidate?
who else are the Republicans going to vote for? Mike Huckabee?
Chris Christie, I thought, was pretty reasonable.
No, Chris
Rubio.
Christie. Rubio,
in a perfect world, Rubio would be the guy to vote for, but
he's just too far behind. Like,
yeah, I know.
Well, I've seen people.
He's got to hope for a Hail Mary.
Is he pulling at least even in double digits anywhere?
He's actually been surging relatively.
If he's pulling double digits going into Iowa, he's still alive. He's still breathing.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Marco Rubio nationally is at 11.8.
Yeah, he'll be okay. He's still alive. He's still breathing.
Oh, they have a specific Iowa breakdown. Okay, Rubio is at 11.9 in Iowa, so yeah, he's still alive. Ben Carson dropped like a stone.
Yeah, for all the right reasons.
Okay,
we should do a Bass political special, though. I think that would be fun. Not a political, but an election special. That would be awesome.
Eventually.
Well, we can talk primaries as we go along. Mike, if he doesn't want to do it, you and I can have special primary shows. Go ahead, Zach. What do you got?
In Iran, the Iranian goalkeeper for the national team has been arrested for posting indecent photos of himself with women.
Yeah, wasn't it like a picture of him with his mom or something?
No, here's the photos in question, if you wish to see.
Yeah,
just
I saw this article.
Decent things he's been doing with these women, such as holding hands, standing next to them, hugging
kissing.
them.
No, it's not even
Posing
kissing.
next
I'm
to
thinking about
boobs.
What the fuck is wrong with those people over there anyway? For God's sakes.
In response, he just deleted all pictures from his Instagram.
I mean,
What? Okay, so he got arrested. What can he be charged with, and what could the possible punishment be?
it's Iran, so probably kind of vicious.
Cut his head off or something?
Yeah.
Fucking weirdos. All right, go ahead. What's next?
Washington Redskins, their season ended. RG3, his tenure with the team probably over. So when he cleaned out his locker, he left a poem for his teammates, a goodbye note.
But is he a 15-year-old girl?
People are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and gain some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have and it will never be enough. Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it's between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
God damn it.
RG3, everybody.
So I think we can all safely say that both RG3 and Johnny Manziel will end up in Dallas, right? I mean, that's going to happen.
Well, supposedly, because the new head coach there, Hugh Jackson, said, basically doesn't want to deal with Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
And the Browns have looked to see who would be interested. The 30 of the other 31 teams said they wouldn't be interested. And one of those teams that said they wouldn't be interested is the Cowboys. So
Really? Who was the interested team?
they didn't say.
Well, it has to be someone more dumb than the Browns, and that's not possible. So
I think it was the Bears.
Bengals, who knows?
just what they need, right? Another uncontrollable player.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yes.
All right. You can find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. The website, basicallyasportshow.com. Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes, and the YouTubes.
See
Go-
ya.
Go Rams.
Go LA Rams.